Did you know that the biggest killer of the over 50s is the armchair? Yes, it is true. So join me today for this all-standing flow where we will work on mobility, strength, posture and balance. All you will need is a pair of bare feet, some clothing that allows freedom of movement, a stable surface, and maybe a chair or a wall close by to help you with any balances. I've got my bug repellent on, I've got my sun cream on. It's 30 degrees here in Costa Rica, so I am ready for this practice and I hope you are too. So I will see you on the mat. This whole class will be standing, so all you need is a pair of bare feet and a sturdy surface. I'm actually on a bit of a uneven surface here, so if I fall over, you know why. So we'll start with feet about hip distance apart. On an inhale, palms come up to the sky, elongating the spine. And exhale, come down. 2 more of these. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, palms lift. And exhale, release. Bring the palms up to the sky again, and if you can place the palms together, that's fine. If not, just keep the hands shoulder width distance apart. And as you exhale, tip over to the left, so really grounding down into this right foot, stretching out the side waist. If you have the palms together, that's fine. And inhale back to center, then over to the other side, grounding into that opposite foot, keeping the hips facing forward. Inhale, come back up. 1 more each side. And lift up. Over to the other side. And inhale, lift. Standing cat-cow. Hands come to the thighs, bend the knees. On an inhale, lift the head and the chest. Dip in the belly here. And then as you exhale, round in the spine like a cat. Inhale, lift into extension. Exhale, round into flexion. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Really feeling the articulation of the spine here as you move in time with the breath. Inhale, lift, last one. Then exhale, round. And then come back up to standing. So we'll work on rotating the spine. So keeping the hands at the hips, feet are hip distance apart. And on an inhale, rotate round to one side, keeping these facing forward. And then exhale back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale back to center. So feel the rotation coming from the mid-spine. So the lower spine doesn't actually rotate, it's the mid to upper back. So the higher you go up the spine, the more rotation is available. Couple more of these. Moving mindfully in time with your breathing. 1 more time. And back to center. Grounding down into the right foot. Place the left foot in front. Arms come out to a T and we'll rotate again. So this is putting you a little bit off balance with the foot out to the front. Inhale back to center and come back. Other foot goes out. Rotate. So I can already feel that this is a lot more challenging than when I have both feet stable. 1 more time each side. Grounding down into that standing foot, engaging all of the core muscles to help maintain the balance. This time 1 foot will go back and rotate round towards that back leg. Inhale, center. Other side. Back to center. Other foot goes back. Rotate round to that side. Back to center. Last one. Foot steps back, rotate round, back to center. This time, this foot will go back and you will rotate the opposite side. So you're rotating away from this back leg, back to center. So this might feel a bit easier. 1 more each side. So it's really good to challenge our balance and our thinking as well. and come back. Placing the hands on the hips, extend this left leg out in front, really ground down into the right foot. Zip up this inner line, gathering out the perineum, that mullar band of the root lock. Maybe lift this knee off the floor. Hold here for 5 breaths. Get a fixed gazing point. And then bring it back down, step back. This other foot comes out, so really engage in this left leg here, zipping up that midline, fixed gazing point, and lift up for 5 breaths. And then release. And this time we'll do some ankle circles. So zipping everything up. This position is already familiar in the body. Knee comes up and then start to rotate the ankle 5 in one direction and then 5 in the other. Of course, you can always hold on to a wall or a chair here if this is challenging, but sometimes it's good to try, because we tell ourselves we can't do something and we don't actually even attempt it. Our mind can be the biggest obstacle that we have. Other side, getting a stable base, rotating that foot 5 times in one direction and then 5 in the other. And then release down. Working on feet still, we'll do palm tree. So zipping these legs together, zipping up the midline, and on an inhale coming up to the balls of the feet. So first of all, we'll keep the hands on the hips, get a fixed gazing point to focus on, really suck those legs together and then down. It is easier to do it hip distance apart if you're finding that challenging. So coming up and then down, and this time the arms will come up, so we bring our gorgeous palm leaves up to the sky. Breathing here, stretching out the whole of the bottom of the foot, working on that big toe joint and the joints in the toes, and come down. One more of these. Inhale, lift. If you want to make it even more challenging, you can close the eyes. When we close the eyes in a balance, it turns it into something completely different. And release. And then shake it out. Coming to feet hip distance apart, hands come to the hips. Extend the left leg out to the side and then over to the right. So we're just moving the thigh bone here in the hip socket. Working on balancing on that other leg. And then release, other side. So this right leg extends out to the right, then across, back, across, back. I need to find somewhere flat on this lawn. And back to center. This time the left leg comes out to the side and it will go behind. So extending it behind. 5 on this side. That's 3, 4, and 5. Back to the center line. Right leg comes out behind, extend, behind. I'm really on a wobbly place here. So if your arms come out to the side, it is easier to balance. I think that's 4 and 5. So now this movement is familiar in the lower body. We're going to jazz it up a bit with the arms. So the arms are going to swing to the opposite side. So this left leg is coming across to the right and my arms are going to the left. Bring it back this way. Then we're going to swing it behind. Out to the side. That's 1, 2, 3. So imagine that you're a dancer. 4. You're on the stage, you're moving with grace and elegance. And 5. And back, and the other side. So the other side could be a different story. That's 2, 3. So you will probably find that one side is easier to do in any of these asymmetric exercises. And 5. Feet are hip distance apart, hands come to the hips. Keep the right hand on the right hip. The left leg will extend out, the left arm comes up. Really activate this area here, and we'll move into some side crunches. So bringing the knee to the elbow. Now you can always hold on to a chair here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And return. Other side. 1. So really imagine that you're crunching down, you're using these obliques here to bring the knee to the elbow and vice versa. And return. So this one is a balance and a little bit of a mind puzzle. So bringing the feet together, knees bend. So the trick in this posture is for the knees to be quite bent. Lifting the left leg up, crossing over on top of the right. So this might be your eagle, using these toes as a kickstand. So you're sitting in, you're locking these legs together and the spine is tall. If it's available to you, you may double wrap. So this becomes a balance. Otherwise, a kickstand is totally acceptable. Whatever leg is in front, place the opposite hand on the belly and the other hand on top of the head. So we're going to start rolling the hand in a circular motion and then tap in on top of the head. So this is something we used to do at school, and it really does test your brain because your limbs are doing 2 different things. So a few more here. And then come up and release, and we'll do the other side. So bending the knees first of all, lifting this leg, coming over into your version of eagle. This time the opposite hand goes on the belly, this one goes on top of the head, and we'll start. If we can, I'm finding it much more difficult this way. Roll in the belly, hand going up and down. And release. Shake it all out, let it go. And moving on, getting more into the shoulders. So arms will come out to a T. So your palms are face down. Rotating the palms up to the sky. Fingertips to shoulders. Elbows come together. Elbows come out. Arms extend with the palms turned up. And then rotating the palms down and then all the way back round facing upwards. So you're getting a total rotation in the upper arm bone. Again, rotating back so the palms are to the sky. Fingertips to shoulders. Elbows come together. Elbows open. Palms to the sky. Rotate all the way around so the palms are going back up to the sky. Back to face upwards again. Fingertips to shoulders, elbows together, elbows out, palms to the sky, rotating those shoulders forward so the palms come back up to the sky, all the way around again. Fingertips to shoulders, elbows together, elbows out, arms to this T, rotating all the way around. One more of these, fingertips to shoulders, elbows together, elbows out, palms up, rotate all the way around, and then let it go. And the last move we'll do is what I call teacups. This may take a while for you to get this, but it's a really great way to maneuver the shoulders. So we start with our palms facing forward. So remember that throughout this whole movement, the palms are always facing to the sky. Palms come out as if you're holding 2 teacups. Bring the elbows close back by the ribs. Rotate them out so the palms are going to the back. Then keeping the palms up to the sky, we'll circle the arms up, around, cross at the top, and they come back down. So this is quite confusing the first time you'll see it, but we'll go through it several times so you can get it. So palms facing up and all the time, bring these back, rotate towards the back, keeping those teacups facing upwards. You don't want to spill any tea, and then elbows back. Again, crossing at the top, coming back round. So do this in your own time. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you don't do it perfectly, because we're still getting some mobility in the shoulders. We hold so much tension there and they seize up. Movement is restricted. So doing this movement can really bring a lot of freedom. We'll do a couple more this way. Now you've mastered it. One more. And then you've guessed it, we're going the other way. So this time the elbows are coming forward. We're crossing at the top, around and back. So remembering, just keeping those palms facing upwards. The elbows are going out to the side. We're crossing around like this. I can already feel my shoulders feel so good doing this movement. This is great if you're sitting at a computer all day, you're on your iPad, just bringing some movement, different kinds of movement into the shoulders. You know, this is a 360-degree joint. Do one more this way. And then release. And the last thing we'll do is start with the left arm. The left arm is going to start to circle backwards and forwards very slowly, and as you're doing this, the right arm is going to go the opposite way. So this is another thing we used to do at school that involves a little bit of mind muscle. So be patient with yourself. It will take a while to get it maybe, but you can do it. And then we'll go the other way. So this time the right arm is going back. Hang on. This is going back and this is going forwards. That's it. So just feeling that movement coming from the top of the arm bone right in the shoulder joint. You might hear some snap, crackles and pops, which is perfectly normal. And then release, shake it out. And actually I did lie, it's not the last thing we're going to do. The last thing we do is just work a little bit on the neck. So keeping the shoulders back and down, imagining the movement is coming from the neck, looking from side to side, slowly and mindfully, making sure the mind is at the base of the neck. A few more of these. You can really feel this getting deep into the tissues. And then back to the midline, and only do this move if it feels good on your neck. Bringing the chin all the way down and then very slowly looking up. So this might not feel good for you. You don't need to look all the way up. You can just bring the head up to vertical. And then back to center, and we'll finish with some neck rolls. So bringing the chin down, over to one side, 5 in one direction. Remember, you can always do half circles if this is not good for you. Those snap, crackle and pops can be caused by friction, by suction, by cavitation, and also if you haven't changed directions, now change direction. Also by from the fascia, we have these vacuoles filled with water in the fascia. Sometimes it's them popping. I get a lot of snap, crackles and pops in my neck. Too much time looking at a device, I imagine. And then back to center. You might feel a bit dizzy. Just stand for a moment, maybe close the eyes. Feel your feet grounded on the earth, bringing you back. And then open the eyes. And that was your little mobility flow. I hope you enjoyed it. Please join me again on this channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I post content like this to help us get moving as we get older, because we don't want to sit and stagnate in that armchair. Thank you, and see you again soon.